So I've gone ahead to iron. So after ironing, the next thing you will do is join our cups for the lining. So here I am through. Okay, I'll just turn it back over, and this is what we have. I'm just going to complete this place that I've not added my bone channel here. I'm going to add it. Then the next thing you do is to go ahead, add your bone channel here. You know, added ½ inch here for turning. Just add here your bone channel. Add on both sides. Welcome back. I'm going ahead to close this upside. I said use your wedding bone to close this place, and you come down by 0.5 inch allowance here. The allowance was added. Now this is to use it to turn. We're going to be using this allowance to turn with the main fabric. Now note that this is the inner lining. All your work should be done in the inner lining, and this is what we have. The next I'm going to do is to come in with my plastic bone. This is the size I'm using. I'm using 0.3 inch. But before I start putting this in, I went ahead to join my lining with skirt parts. I'll be passing in my plastic bone like this. So I turn it to the right side for you to see the effect on the dress. Now once you've gotten to this part, make sure your plastic bone does not stop here. It should go in like 1 inch. Okay, like 1 inch. Now I've gotten to this point. I'm just going to bring it out and reduce it so it can go in. So I want to remove like 1 inch from it. So that will help me to turn my down very well. So with this, you can push it inside. Use something to push it inside. You're going to be reducing the length because your machine cannot run on this plastic bone. That's why we are reducing the length. You see, now this is like 1 inch. I'm going to do this for all. Here, look at the effect that this plastic bone is giving to it now. So I'm going to pass it through, then iron it to lay flat. Then I'll show you the result after ironing it. I've passed all my plastic bone to my channels. And I'm going to place it on the cup. See, it's going to, this is how it's going to be. It's going to face this way. Then I'll turn it over. I'll turn it over here to start sewing. I'll make sure that the sides are going to match. Now this is my side. I'm going to make sure that this other side is going to match with that. So this is my 1 inch. I'm going to make sure that it match for both sides. So that will be my guide to turn this neckline. So I finished running the neckline. The next thing I'm going to do is to trim off. Okay, is to trim off all these excesses, not too much. If you do not want to trim off, you can just notch. And why notching? Let it be slanted. But I love to trim off a little bit, not too much. So now I can turn it over to the right side. Easy. So here I'm just going to use my iron to iron it. Now the next thing I'm going to do is to turn this back. This is my center back. And how do you turn your center back? Still go ahead to turn it over and sew. Okay, sew on this 0.5 inch just to close it down. Sew it on this 0.5 inch all the way down for both sides. So guys, the next thing you're going to do is to go to your machine. You see this part, this center back, try to use your machine to run a stitch very close to the bone lines. You do this for both these last two that were added. So you do this here and here. Go to your machine, run it down, run here down too, because this is where our eyelet is going to sit. I'll just go to my machine and sew. I'll go to my machine and sew here. Okay, let me see. Yeah, sew this part all the way. You sew this and do the same thing for this side. These two last bone channels that we added. Then after so you just insert it back. Now if you're inserting it back, it should be inside your material here. Don't bother if it enters through this part. It should be inside your material. See, remove the bone channels from these two. If you've not even done it better, remove the bone channels from these two. Go run your straight stitch following these old lines, and insert it back. I'll do that and we'll continue. So I'm gonna head to pass back my bone. You see how swollen that place is looking right now. So that is the effect you're going to be having. Now the next thing I'm going to do is to turn the hem. Okay, is to turn the hem. You're going to be cutting out a long strip. I'll be using this fabric to cut out the long strip of 1.5 inches and use for the hem. Hi guys, so the next thing I'm going to be doing is to fix my eyelets. So to fix my eyelets, I took 1 inch, okay, away from the hem. Okay, I took 1 inch all the way to the top. Go up by 1 inch. From there you take another 1 inch, take another 1 inch, like that. So this is what I'm going to be doing for the both sides. Now to do this, I'll be using my plier. This is my eyelet plier. This is what I'll be using to do this. Then I have this size of eyelet. This size is for the plier. Then if you want to use the bigger one, then you have to go for the eyelet machine. So this is the size I'll be using for it. Now to create the holes, I'll be using my soldering iron to do that. I'll make it hot, then punch open the hole. I've finished up. I just want to show you the last one. So this is the last hole here, and I'm just want to show you how to do that. Okay, you place your soldering iron here, and once it gets to the tip, you just remove. So this is the hole you need. So this is the hole you need. Once you get to that point that looks like you want to go past the that mouth pin or what, once you get to that part before you go up, that is where you're going to stop, so that way it won't be too difficult to pass through. Now the soldering iron makes that part that you open strong, so that is why it's strong to push down, and it's good because it's going to help tighten it. So here, now this is looking very neat. And I'll press down, and this is it, guys. This is how to finish up your eyelets. And I'm using this corset rope for it. I'm using this is sold for 500 naira in the market. Even this one is sold for 500 naira in the market, as plenty as it is. Yes, 500 naira in the market. So while charging your customers, make sure you add all this. So this is what I'll be using, this color, this white color, because there is white on it. So this is what we have. This is the inside, how clean and how neat it looks. So for the cup, okay, for this cup, I don't know, I'm just trying out this is what the one I was able to buy. I got two actually. I got this one too, but I don't really like it. I've already finished buying this one before I saw this other design. So just go ahead with your cup. So this is my hip pad. I went ahead to join to my lining, and I finished my skirt. The next I'm going to do is to fix my zip. Then I finish the crystal on the cup. Then the sleeve is just a band that I'm just going to use. So I'm thinking of using this to sew on it, like to pad it, so it will have weight. Okay, I'll just cut out my here. I still have some left. I'll use this for the sleeve. I just cut out like 4 inches, 8 inches on fold. Okay, I'm going to turn it, then I'm going to pad it with this peplum stay, so it will give it weight. I will show you what next to do. Let me finish the cup. So guys, here we are. I've been able to close the zip all round here till the next zip. So I'm just going to cut the zip head, cut it out. And turn it back over. You see, I'm just trying to bring out the zip to lay proper. So
So to lay it properly, bring out your zip. Make sure at this point, this part, everything comes out here. And at this point, make sure you prepared your sleeve. Okay, I've already prepared my sleeve. Now I'm going to be tacking this on my client's body. I don't want to just assume. I'm going to tack it on my client's body, that when she wears it, I'll just put it around her sleeve and know the length that I'll be using, then trim off the other one. So for now, I'm going to keep this aside. This for both sleeves. Here, I'll come in with this. So this is how it's going to be. You see, open this up, you see, and make sure the sides are aligning, like they are equal. Measure to get your half length, as this is supposed to lay on the half length. Now once you pin down, yeah, just pin down all round. Okay, now the effect is to get an inbuilt corset. The full length is 24 and the half length is 18. So I'm going to measure that. I'll put my 24 here. I actually use 23. I didn't want it to be too long, so I used 23. So I said that place that it curves in from, exactly that place. So I have my 18 here. I'm going to mark it down, not too much. I don't want to get the dress here. I have 18 here. Open up my zip. And I'm going to be putting this inside. Now I'm going to be making sure that the center front of the skirt and of my upper bodies would match. I want to come up by say 3 inches here, and I'm going to pin down that on that 3 inches. I'm going to pin this all round. So for the cup, we're going to be designing this, okay? But before I do the remaining design, I have to use this. Because I didn't get plenty of this, I have to manage this. Because I have to put it on the sleeve. Then the remaining one I'm going to use to cover the cup, because in the style this is what we have, but they did not use this exact applique. I didn't find that one in the market, so this was the one I saw and it's fine. Okay, now this is the one I'll be using for draping. Okay, I'll be using this to drape the skirts. You see in the picture there is a place they draped the skirts in the picture, so I'm going to use this to drape, and it is best you drape on your client's body or your body, right? If it's your own, get someone to drape for you. I'll just explain how to drape. Now to drape this on your body, depending on how long you want it to drape. Here, the picture we have here is full, but it's not too long. Okay, so I'll just say the hip point below the hip. Okay, I'm taking 2 inches below the hip here. Hope you can see very well. Let me zoom. Yeah. So here I'll be taking 2 inches below the hip, then bring it back to the waistline here. Now this one that came down, this one that poured down, it got to the floor. So roughly 1 yard should be able to do this. Draping comes at the right side, while this one that's going to be dropping is going to be at the left side. Now for you to drape, you pour this, okay, let it flow down, then you start draping from the waist. You start pinning down. Now I'm just showing you how to do this. You start pinning down. Let me just pin. Now your draping should be, because you're pinning down does not mean you shouldn't have a neat finishing. You see the way I'm pleating it, but it should be on fold this way. You're going to be folding it inside, right? You're going to be folding it inside to drape. So this tape mouth or the edge shouldn't show, does not have to show. You see, when I gather up, I just take it inside. So by the time I've done this, okay, see, it's below the hip. Now this other side, that's why I said you have to wear this dress before doing this. This other side is going to come here. Here, this one is going to come. You see the way it is gathered up. You're going to tack it on the waist, right? So this side goes down, this side comes up to the waist, and from there it flows down. So whatever I have here should get to the floor, right? Should get to the floor. So this is like 1 yard of velveting. So after this, I think that is all. That is all. So I'm going to show you the fitting on my client's body. Then we are done with this class. So guys, this is the cup, right? I had to use the remaining, after putting on the sleeve, this is, I'm able to tack my sleeve